And we are live.
Hi, you guys. It's your favorite host, Miss Biscuit, and you know that I am a one woman show. So give me one moment so I can let the world know that I am live.
Hey, it's your favorite host, Miss Biscuit. And if you like the questions that I ask on my show, head over to www.shycitychat.com to purchase my 21 questions conversation starter. Drinking and calling random people makes every game night lit. Also, don't forget to head over to Swoga for your detox and fitness regimen daily. And don't forget, Classy Cosmetics. I trust Danny with my lips.
Hi, you guys. I am so happy that you guys came back to on this Sunday with me. Okay, so my special guest that I have on my panel today, you guys are used to seeing us both late at night adulting on Wednesdays. However, I wanted to shine the light on Miss Quanda and what she do for a living because believe it or not, she is a certified relationship coach. She has helped me coach myself. Now, when I say coach myself, I mean I am a big self love type of person. So this segment has been meaning to be here for so long. So when things happen in your life, you don't, you know, reflect on the person that's happening with you. You reflect on yourself. So that's what I did. And she helped me so much in that case. So with that being said, Miss Quanda is here to basically let you guys know how to self-love and where to start, where to end. If you need her help, she's here for you. So, with that being said, Miss Quanda, go ahead and run your resume down to the lovely people out here.
We both was trying to unmute each other at the same. Hello, everybody. So my name is Quanda. I am the owner of Pleasures and Courage. Pleasures and Courage is a one-stop shop for pleasure. And one of the areas under Pleasures and Courage is pleasure coaching. And what do I do is I coach from yourself to your relationships. I coach with love. I coach you to teach you how to date. I coach pretty much a wide range of topics that help you get to where you're trying to get to. So from point A to point B, that's where I come in. I teach you how to reignite yourself in the bedroom with your partner, how to get you guys on the same page, tuning into your relationship. And I also teach you how to tune into yourself, how to dive in and start to move past a lot of that trauma that you have experienced growing up or in your adulthood. That's why I step in. I step in to get you from this point to that point.
So that part is the resume of her helping in relationships. So Quanda, can you show the world? I am a fan of her activities. Could you please show the world the activities? If you need help in relationships, as far as you and your significant other, she has lots of activities to get you where you need to go. Okay, so which one is that one, Quanda?
This is the 30-day self-love calendar. I'm actually going to take it out of the packaging. And what it is a calendar that gives you 30 days of different activities, some small, some big, of how to love yourself again. Because we get so wrapped up in helping everybody else that we forget to give ourselves that same care and love that we give to everybody. So this is just like a quick reminder of ways that you can love yourself. I don't know if you guys can you see
no,
it?
you gotta
My background is playing with it. Okay, so let me see if I could take it off real quick.
Yes.
It's 30 days of activities for self-love. And like I said, some of them are small, some of them are big. They also come, every calendar comes with some popsicle sticks and some candles, of course. And on these popsicle sticks, you will write down things that's like on your bucket list that you really want to do. And with the relationship one, you will write down things that you really want to do in your relationship. And some days on the calendar, I will specifically tell you to pull from your popsicle sticks, and whatever is on that stick, you must do. Of course, we always got to adjust to, our life of what's going on at the moment. So some sticks we just cannot do. But if you put off a stick for that moment, it has to be completed by the end of that week, even though you did not complete it that specific day. Because like I said, we are mostly, we're parents, we're employees, we're entrepreneurs, we are business people. So sometimes we can't go hiking in the middle of the day. It's just not possible to do. So I will give you to the end of the week to complete it. And like I said, it can be super duper small. One says post random messages in your house, all around your house, just little sticky notes of random affirmations for yourself. Or another one tell you to just organize, pick something in your house and organize. It's weirdly how much organizes decompresses us, and it winds us down, and it gives us what a lot of people need is some level of just assurance of things is okay. And that's what decluttering actually do. It could be sing a song to yourself. Turn the radio on, sing it, and you pick a song that is for you. I always pick one. Like when I get down or when I need some type of motivation, I go to one same song. It's Meek Mill and Tiana Taylor. No matter what I do, it used to be my alarm because it was the only song that would wake me up. And it gets me there every time. Even now, she got a new one called I Made It. When I say every time I turn that song on, I tell myself I made it. Like I made it. And she like, baby girl, you made it. That's one of the things that I always tell people to do, especially when they're getting into trying to find ways to get self-care. That's what the calendar is for. So yeah.
I am so much of a big fan of her activities. So yes, this show is about self-care, and we're not worried about your significant other right now. We're worried about you, because in order for you to make them happy, in order for you to be happy, you have to be happy with yourself. Period. I don't care what you want out of life. You have to be happy with yourself, because you can check off everything under the sun on your checklist, but if you're not happy with yourself, none of that matters.
Agreed.
So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into these questions. Okay, Quanda. First question. All right. How do you know if you need a therapist or a coach?
So okay, it seems like it's super complicated trying to determine which one to go to. But I'll tell you this. When you know that you need a therapist breaks down like past traumas, past situations, past things that you need to go through. Coaching, we can, and a lot of us are certified, which you need to be very, very, very clear on the type of coaches that you go to, because there is nothing that regulates us in a sense. So pretty much anybody could say they're a coach. It is like, I tell people all the time, I actually went to school and I went, this is what I trained for. However, a lot of people did not. Some people did not, and they can say that they're a coach, but not because there's nothing in place that says you're not. But with a therapist, you have your license that say, what I'm saying, I went to school, and your degree, I went to school and this is what I'm licensed for. With a coach, you do not. So with the coach, what we do specifically is we get you where you are and we help you get from point A to point B. Like I stated, we focus on the future and the present, whereas your therapist focus on your past and they bring you up to the future. So they bring all of you into your present, so right now at the moment that you are, and then a coach will come in and help you keep going.
Oh, so y'all hold a hand?
Yes. Yes. That is where you go when it's, because we are not supposed to go deep into your trauma, because it can unlock things that we are not able to diagnose.
Okay.
Or that we're, what I'm saying? So that's why they always typically pass that on to the therapist. Or if you get to that point with me, I will refer you to therapists. Like, okay, at this point, you can still work on me and we can work on moving forward. But there is still parts of you that needs to finish diving into this. This is where you need therapy.
See, I like that. Yes. I like that. To tell
people. It's in our certification is to make sure we know when to refer.
See, that's how you know when somebody educated and somebody just threw a handle on their name. All right.
Trying to do everything on your own.
What's the difference between a therapist and a coach? Which you just said, actually, what's the difference? Okay. Next question. How important is setting boundaries for a close family or friend?
It's super duper important to set those boundaries, because when they are not set, you cannot be mad at people for crossing them because they did not know they were there. And you have to determine what each boundary for you is, and not just for you, but for your family, your relationship, and for your children. Everybody needs to have a boundary. There needs to become a point where you set that boundary, even in a relationship, and say, okay, this is my time where I'm going to be alone, or this is what I need to handle. And it comes down to just a conversation with whomever you're setting a boundary with. It does not have to be mean or come off harsh. It just needs to be very clear on what it is. And you guys need to understand that this is what's going on. It needs to be a mutual understanding. So especially like when you got with friends as well. At sometimes, I'm at home. I'm handling my family, my kids. You cannot call me at this moment. Or when you call me, I tell you, I have to go. Let me handle this. I'll talk to you later. And that comes along with time. And that comes, like I said, a conversation of being very clear of, okay, look, girl, when I'm dealing with this, I can't talk because I get too distracted. It don't work out and I don't get it done. Or in order for me to be productive, I need to be able to say, understand that I need to step back or step aside. I'm not going to say step back because you're not stepping back. You're stepping aside and you're focusing on one thing. I'm a very, very, everybody know, they tell me I got a million things on my plate. I'm multitasking like all of the time. However, there comes a point where I have to say, okay, let me just focus on this. I'll deal with that later. I don't care what it is. It can fall to the wayside. It could be blowing up over here. I will pay no mind. I get super laser focused. And that's why, because trying to handle that can become drastic for you, and it becomes for your friends. It creates a toxic relationship and a codependent one. No one is independent to handle those problems. And that's what people don't understand. You calling and being able to pick up the phone and call, or being able to go run to somebody to rescue you, it's not giving you a chance to rescue yourself and see what you're made of. And then be like, let me tell you, I thought that I know how to do it, but of course nobody was available, so I had to figure it out. Everybody gonna tell you I had to do what I had to do. It gave them a chance to see what they was made of. And I guarantee you they felt better for it. You felt better for it because you didn't soak up another situation that generally was not your issue to soak up in the first place.
People's toes, honey. Okay, with that being said, what is the best way to set boundaries for friends and family? And should it come head on or ease into it?
I'm say a little bit of both. I'm gonna say head on because I want it to be clear. Make it very clear of what you are doing. You don't have to spell out the boundary that you're making. No, make it clear so that you both can understand it. However, you don't have to be harsh about it. You don't have to say, you know what, I can't talk no more. I'll call you later. Like, okay, it's easy to just say, you know what, at this point I can't do it. I'll deal with this later. At this point, this is something I cannot focus on at the moment. It's okay to say I cannot. And people have to be able to realize we've been programmed to tell ourselves what we can and cannot do. But in some moments, at the moment, we cannot do it. Trying to do everything creates that mentality of I gotta do. Oh, somebody said do, somebody said so I gotta do just to show that I can do it. No. It gives us that sense that we are out here scrambling, like running around with chickens with our head cut off, trying to do everything. And then we are exhausted and we drained and we overwork ourselves. And now here we go with the society that we have today that is overworked and underpaid because we're out here trying and we haven't set boundaries, whether it's at work, it's at home, it's your friends, your relationship, even with yourself. Set boundaries just to make sure you're clear about it. Know what boundary you are setting.
Wow.
If you need more, I can help you with boundaries. I have.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
What if you have like a bully person that's close to you? And when I say bully, I mean you set the boundary and say, okay, well, I'm gonna talk to you later about that. I don't know how I feel about that right now. And then they start texting you like 50 paragraphs on how you disrespected them because they can't get their way.
Ignore it. Now I'm gonna say for the moment, yes, while you have whatever you have to take care of or do whatever you have to do or whatever you have set that boundary for, ignore it. It's gonna be there when you get back. It ain't going nowhere. The phone not gonna delete it. The person not gonna change their mind on how they feel. Let it go. Ignore it. And when you get to the capacity and you're at a point where you can say, okay, I can handle this, handle it. But until you are there, you're gonna have to eventually set them boundaries. And what will they eventually do? Understand that she's not gonna respond. He's not gonna he's not gonna go back and forth for me. That's how you get to that point in that relationship, because you still have to set that balance. Even though they won't respect it, you still have to set it and stick to it. And eventually they will understand this is how it is. Like, this just how it is. You can say, oh, I'll cut them off, but all the time that's not the case. Sometimes it's your own kids.
Girl,
like I can't cut them off. I tell them to get out 30 times and they still, I can't cut them off. But my kids know I am good for it. If I'm in the middle of something and I tell you, like, I can't handle it, you keep coming, I will ignore you. My blinders are on. I no longer see nor hear what you're saying. And they'll stand there, keep talking. Eventually they'll realize mama ain't paying me no attention. And they'll walk off.
See, I'm not.
I do that badly. That is one of the ways I have set boundaries, because it begins to, I try to do everything at once.
Right.
And I'll be like, oh, okay, I could do that. And I'll stop what I'm doing and then jump to this.
Yeah.
And I had to tell myself, stop.
Yes.
Stop. Yes. By the end of the night, I have 50 unfinished projects, 30 things that I partially did and didn't do, 10 things I thought about, wrote down, and didn't even dive into because I got caught up doing somebody else's work.
Boundaries.
So I put my blinders on and I'll just be like, okay, let me just deal with it. I called you. I didn't even see my phone ringing. My phone was over there while I was over here.
Yes.
I can't do it. And you know, my supervisor at my job, she's a therapist. And one of the things she told me, because I called her, I was going off, you know, having a frustrated moment. And I'm like, it's not working. This not working. These people, I can't help them. I can't get them what they need. And she was like, stop. Set a day where you answer your phone. Set a day where you don't. Stop always answering your phone because you're not getting nothing done. Understand your clients are calling. They're going to keep calling. Their problem isn't going to leave. Stop answering your phone. She said, set one day that you're going to answer your phone and handle all of the calls. And then set the next day, you don't answer no calls. You handle everything that did not get handled the day before. And then you handle what you did, what you talked to everyone about. And I was like, and ever since then, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that. And that's what I've been doing. Today is the day I'm not answering my phone. I'm not answering it.
I know that's right.
Because it was becoming too much.
I like that, supervisor. See, but you know, see, the thing is, I'm good at not answering my phone and not jumping straight to the call. Like if my phone ring, I know for a fact that that's somebody that need an answer right then. But if you text me, like I'm okay with not just jumping to a text message. I don't jump to a message. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not in the hours of me working, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But them toxic text messages after you tell a person you can't handle it right now, I don't care. I do not have to go to. I do not
call somebody else.
Okay. All right. Go on to the next question. Next question. How do you know if past trauma is affecting the reason my life is the way it is?
There are clear sign indicators that will let you know if trauma is a part of your life. And that's why they consider, like, I'm not even going to say PTSD, because like I said, I cannot diagnose that. However, there are clear sign indicators. Your reactions are like overreactions to things. You get easily angry, easily agitated. And it's not just, one specific thing that you get easily upset or angry about. It's anything that'll send you overboard. And that's how you know something is festering there. You know, simple situations where, you know, most people, it did not affect them that way. And then you have to sit down, and it comes with getting to understand yourself. You sit down and you realize, okay, I wouldn't go overboard. Like, yeah, it was, you know, the situation was a little bad, but I took it too far. Once you realize you took it too far, then that's how you know something. You need to sit down, and I would tell you to go get a therapist. But even if you don't, sit down and think to yourself, why? What did it take you to? The moment you felt that feeling, the moment that popped in your head, the moment it went across, the moment it happened, what immediately did you feel? The immediate reaction was your true, honest reaction. That's how you felt the first time it happened. I used to work at like a therapeutic place with children, and they had this model, and I love the model, how even as like the employees, we would fall into the kids' trap and keep completing the negative cycle that they had from their home. Right. Even though we were initially attempting there to help, it showed how easily it is to fall back into the incomplete and keep going over on a cycle, in a cycle, in a cycle. And what it was doing was, like, I can give you an example. One of the kids, she liked it to go back and forth. So what she would do is and that was her negative behavior. She likes to go back and forth with authority. So you'll tell her to do something, and then your response, she'll be like, I ain't doing that. And then you standing like, yes, you is. And she's like, I ain't doing that. Now you have fallen into her cycle. And now you're repeating her behavior. You're letting her know her behavior is good. And it's something that she should keep doing because you're now part of it. And it's like, it was hard to catch yourself from getting into the cycles, and it wasn't always anger. Some of it was sad. They would get sad and they'll start crying, and they was looking for someone to come and rescue and show that love.
Wow. See, now that's good for parents.
You come and jump in, and you come and you show that love, but you are continuing their cycle because they are not standing up for themselves. They are not fending for themselves because they're looking for an adult to come and rescue. And you know what I'm saying? You understand why when you get to know the children. However, you still continue that cycle with them. And then they never learned. And a lot of them are girls. I went into the girls section after a while, and they were almost literally about to age out 15, 16, 17 was the main group I worked with.
Uh-huh.
And it was so hard with the girls to not go into their cycle because girls were smart, crazy, and slightly manipulative.
Yes.
On how to get you to do. They persuasive, like
yes.
most women are.
Yes.
And so they knew how to get you there, and they didn't even realize all the time that that's what they were doing. But it was a need that they needed to feel, and they was gonna feel it by any means necessary.
See, now this is good for parenting because there's a lot of parents that go back and forth and give their kids because they feel that this is what their kid is gonna do after this, and they already know what their kid is gonna do after they do this, and this, but yet they still, that's.
So if you could pay attention to like when you're, easily agitated, easily angered, easily triggered. I'm gonna use triggered, period. 9 out of 10 is because of a trauma. Somewhere in your lifeline, it was a trauma. Somewhere, and it could have been your child development, could have been teen development, could have been as an adult. Somewhere, something affected you. And it could have been even small that affected you, but it affected you grand. It may have not been grand to anyone else, but it was grand to you.
Okay. All right. What effects can unknown past trauma have on the way my life is? So the unknown trauma, like, just like we said, how do we know that trauma is like, so I guess you answered the question, but my thing is like, if I'm walking around and I feel like I did not have a bad childhood, I feel like nothing happened that was so traumatic, and I'm just walking around, but certain things in my life won't get done. Like I can't complete things. Like I'll jump into something, I'll master it, but it won't be all the way to the completion of it. How can that harm me from not knowing, or should I just start knowing what I did wrong and start completing things?
It can harm you because you're not completing things. It's not that I'm not going to say it can harm you in another way. You have to realize what trauma does to the brain specifically. When we experience really any traumatic event, to protect ourselves, our brain will lock it away and make us forget. Which is why when you go and you ask anyone something from their childhood that was traumatic, and sometimes the story shift, it's not necessarily that they're lying, it's because their brain has locked it away. So they are remembering bits and pieces of it because of those bits and pieces are still connected to their life now. However, if so, they can put it away and won't know. I've had traumatic events, and I tell people all the time, I won't necessarily say I had a bad childhood. However, I did have a few traumatic events, but I still have to, a lot of the things that affect me as an adult were not the traumatic events most people will see that have really happened in my life. It was the small stuff. It was the little stuff. And I'll give an example. I don't know if my dad is watching, but I tell people this story every blue moon because I'm just now as an adult realizing how it affected me then as a kid. And my kid self. As a kid, I knew, a little bit of how it affected me. I knew I was mad and I was angry, but I couldn't never tell nobody why I was so upset and angry. It wasn't until I started actually doing the work on myself. My dad had a girlfriend. Oh my God, I loved his girlfriend. My girlfriend, she had kids. I said my girlfriend, I'm sorry. His girlfriend had kids. And word around, just like floating around, was that my dad was taking care of her kids, helping her take care of her kids. Okay, whatever, as an adult, that's what you do in a relationship. As a kid, I didn't quite see it that way. However, one of the things that I remember happened, someone told me, I don't remember who, but they told me about this belt that I really wanted and that my dad had supposedly bought for one of her daughters. I never checked to see if this story was true. I still to this day don't know if it's true, because I realized that wasn't even my place as a child. However, and I came to my dad and I asked him like, "Oh, I want this belt. Can you buy it for me?" And he told me no. And my dad never like flat out say no. He's more of a beat around the bush. So he'll be like, "Well, baby girl, I can't do it. Yeah, there right now." So he didn't flat out say no, but he gave me some reason. All in my head, it was a no.
Yes.
Flat out. It was a no. And I remember I was so upset, and I as an adult, I could say I was hurt because I thought he bought so the child one. But I was pissed. I remember I was like, that ain't my daddy. I mean, calling him my daddy. And I was walking around like calling him by his real name, not to his face, but like if somebody was like,
Yes.
oh, hey, my daddy, who want me again? Well, that's who want me. I was really like invested into him being super duper upset. And I started doing the work and I realized I wasn't even mad about the belt. It was the fact that I thought someone else was getting the attention that I wasn't fully getting because my dad had his own life situations. He was going a lot. So I wasn't fully getting that attention that I wanted. And like, I was like, okay, so it wasn't even really about the belt, but I took the belt and it was my reason to write him off.
Yes. You needed something in place, and that came in place.
And that came in place, gave me the chance to write him off. And as I got older, I was like, okay, I became more understanding, you know. I'm like, and I still move past it. Me and my dad, like, we're fine now, but I still get in my feelings now as an adult. And every time I do, this is how I knew that was the triggering moment. I go back to that moment. I automatically remember when I asked my daddy for that belt, he didn't get it. Sounds so spoiled and it sounds so funny, but it affected me, and because of it brought up so many other emotions in that moment for me. I realized when I feel unloved, I brush people off. I completely write you off. You know what? Forget you. You don't gotta love me. You don't gotta give me what I need. I'm gonna get it on my own. I'm going to find another way. And it's still traits that I use today. And that's why I say it may not be something even big. It could be something super small that you didn't even realize affected you the way it affected you. However, it is now a part of you. And it is now how you react and now how you move. So now I am so easy to say, you don't got to show me love. I don't care.
Move around.
Yep, and I go on about my business. And now that I'm older and I've been in school for this and researching, I now take the time to figure out why I'm so upset about something. What actually got me upset? What is it? And I take my time because I literally, this is the conversation I have with myself. I'd be like, okay, you was mad. Okay. And I think about what made me mad in the moment. Okay. And then I'd be like, but why did it bother you so much? I've even called you, like, I just can't figure out why it's bothering me so much, but I can't let it go. And I take time and I figure out, and I go back to the moment and I figure out what I felt at that moment. What did I feel? You know what I'm saying? And what did it make me think of? And then I try to draw it back to what part of my development did it affect and did it traumatize me? And then I try to deal with the trauma.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unknown trauma. See, and it's everyday things that you wouldn't even know affected it. Because I know for a fact, like, one of the things that I know was brought up into my adulthood is that my parents always gave us, like, I know people say it's crazy, but too much love. Like, literally, whatever you do, oh my God, look what she did. This is awesome. You know what I'm saying? And then the next person come and be like, oh, look, okay. And then my auntie come, oh, great, yes, good job. Then my daddy come, okay, you got it, Nikki, you know. And I'm like, okay, so everything I do is I'm supposed to have parade. So when I didn't get no parade, I was like, nah, y'all ain't on my team. I don't want y'all. I got to replace my team because this ain't what it is. I was taught that this, and this. And I'm like, okay, so you don't give me attention. It's a problem.
Yes.
You ain't telling me that. I mean, but the thing is, it wasn't that it was just with us that we were receiving it. Like, we knew to give it out.
Yeah.
Like when my sisters come, they say something to me. Yes, awesome. You know what I'm saying? Yes, but it doesn't be like we're faking. Like, that is the level you're supposed to give someone when you're receiving great news that someone accomplished something. Not, oh, that's what's up. So let me tell you what happened with me. That's not how we grew up. So it's like, if you're not cheering me on, I don't want you in my circle. I'm not going to run to you and talk to you about anything. Yes. And yes, my parents and my aunties and my grandma probably did give me too much love, but we love each other. So you're wrong. I'm right.
I definitely know. I know exactly what you
See, it's trauma. See, and it might be that the person does not have that same upbringing.
Yes, that's not what you used to. So when I don't get it, it's like, oh my God, everybody don't even love me because they didn't even say nothing. Nobody didn't give me, like you said, a parade. And that happens a lot, believe it or not. No, and that's why it's no rule book to parenting, and it's so hard to try to give that balance, of good and bad to your child. You have to try to allow them to grow and experience the hard stuff. And it's hard to let, something you pushed, that something you birthed, or someone you're raising experience the hard stuff, but then you realize how it shapes them as an adult. Mm-hmm. And it's sad to say that we gotta be like, oh, the world ain't fair. But like, I'm sorry, baby, I gotta let you know the world isn't fair.
So how about this?
Before somebody else let you know it and you heartbroken out there.
And let me tell you, it is so hard to do that because my two girls, the middle ones, they come to me and they say, okay, she drew a picture and I drew a picture, but you can't say both of them is great. Why not?
But now you're sitting there thinking the other way is to say great.
Girl, you have to say one or the other. So me, I go to the youngest one to say, oh, yours is better because you don't want to crush our feelings. But I just bring out one detail to say, oh, it's better because of this. And then they come back again. Who's it? Okay, so now the oldest one, she got the hint. You got to do that. And then
you got to do that.
And both of them are horrible. But hey, who you going to tell the kids they horrible to? Keep on going back.
It is difficult with your children.
Yes,
it's difficult, period. But it
is. Okay, all right.
It's a lot of work.
Definitely. Okay, so number 4, how important is forgiveness for self-care? I'm not even. Go ahead.
So, forgiveness is like one of the main, like I can't even say like, oh my God, it's one of the main things that's needed for your own self-care. And I'm gonna say it's so weird. People be like, oh well, forgiveness isn't for the person, it's for you. And in some ways, that is true. And I'm gonna say I wrote down because I was watching something on TV this morning. Marriage Boot Camp. That's what I was watching. I love my Marriage Boot Camp. Sometimes they say some good stuff, but I'm gonna tell y'all what he said to her. He said, because she was like, I have forgiven you. And he was like, you could clearly see she haven't forgiven him. I'm sorry. But she, in her head, because she has said, I forgave you, she figured I forgave you, but your actions do not show you forgiving someone. When you have forgiven, you have to release the hold that it has on you. And that's why they say forgiveness is for you. Because when you are upset and when you are angry or you're holding some type of animosity or, you know what I'm saying, issue with someone, it has a hold on you. They're carefree. They don't know that you're angry, or they do know that you're angry and they're dealing with their own guilt on their own hands. However, it still has a hold on you. You know how much time and energy it takes to be unhappy with someone?
Oh, Jesus.
To get around and be like, I'm upset. Like I had to do a lot of work to just even front up my face to show I'm upset. And I tell you all the time, it is a lot of work to be unhappy with somebody. It's a lot of work to be unhappy with yourself. It's a lot of work to constantly have to remind yourself of whatever the misdeed that they did and be unhappy about it. After a while, you be like, you know what? I don't have, it's no longer serving me a purpose to be angry anymore or to be upset or whatever emotion you feel. After a while, it becomes pointless to even hold that in. And what he told her was, forgiveness isn't about saying a word. It's about experiencing the feeling and freedom that it will give you.
I guess, yes, that is true. However, it's like, I don't want nobody to tell me that I gotta forgive. somebody
No,
that
I
ain't
didn't say no.
nothing wrong.
Forgiveness is on your own terms. It's
No,
your
I know
own
that.
words on your own terms. Nobody should not tell you what that you gotta forgive. However, you have to understand forgiving does not mean to keep rehashing.
Right.
Every time
Right.
something come up, you cannot throw it back in the face, and that is something that is constantly done when people say they forgive.
That is
Now,
true.
it's also separate from saying I forgive you and then you go and keep repeating the same thing.
Come on now.
You are reopening that wound. However, I cannot say I forgive you and then keep punishing you after the fact.
Yeah, if I forgive you, let's just let go and release.
I have to let it go, move on. It should not be thrown back up in your face. It should not come back up in our next argument. But that's why you don't just automatically say you forgive someone. You take that time and you figure out again what it did to you.
Mm-hmm.
How did it feel for you? What it was for you? And this is what I mean when I say the self-care portion. Scratch them out. We already know the misdeed is done. It's done. We can't go back. We can't wipe up spilled milk. So remove that part.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to figure out you. What did it do to you? How did it affect you? And then you start to move forward on that. Once you identify what it did to you, now we can figure out what did it connect? Did it connect to another trauma? Did it bring up something else? Did it start a whole new trauma? And then we start to heal ourselves from that. We have to work on healing us. And that's one of the things that I say that people now is having a hard time doing. It's healing themselves. They go to everybody for this healing, and it's actually within you. Now, I can say, okay, so, you don't know the tools to heal yourself. However, you have to say, I want to get myself through this.
Right.
I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to move on. If you are not, it's not going to happen. It's like beating a dead horse. It's not going to work. I can't throw you out the tools if you're not ready to receive them.
Come on, Coach Kwanda. Okay.
Yes.
So now, what is the difference between forgiving for yourself and forgiving for someone else? And the reason why I say that is because some people say that they forgive you or forgive someone because they feel that it will help the other person, and they're just disregarding their own feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So, so go ahead.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're not taking the time to figure out what it did to them. It affected them. For them to feel the need that they have to give out forgiveness, meaning it affected you. Some way, somehow, big or small, it affected you. You need to figure out how it affected you first, why it affected you, and then begin to deal with that. Saying forgiveness, that you forgive someone because it'll help them, again, blocks you. It does not, and it also robs them of the chance to actually fix whatever that they may have messed up on. It may have, you know what I'm saying, they don't get the chance. You have robbed them of that because you did not fully address how you felt to be able to address it to them.
Okay, so with this, I just have to ask you, what is a good way? Okay, so a lot of people have this problem, and it comes to the point whereas it irritates me. So we can have a disagreement, okay? Don't laugh, be quiet. We can have a disagreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it can go too far, right?
Okay.
And it goes too far where we have an argument, we're both upset, and we stop talking to each other, right? And then something comes up whereas we're in the midst of each other's company, and then we just start back talking. No conversation had ever came in contact, whereas we decided that who was wrong, who was right, or let's just be amicable and just say, okay, we'll agree to disagree. But we do know that that situation happened, and I'm not just supposed to just sweep it under the rug. So tell me this, what is a great way if I was into it with somebody and we have mutual friends, a party came up and we laughing and drinking and having fun, and then we just start talking, and then they call me the next day. Please tell me, how am I supposed to bring up the conversation without them saying you bringing up old mess? Oh, she got froze. Did she get froze? Yes, she's froze. And that was, oh my goodness. Kwanda, if you can hear me, you're froze. See, the Windy City. It has to be windy out here in Chicago for it to happen. Okay, so did you hear me? You're
No, because
unfroze.
you froze. Oh, I thought it was
Oh,
you.
am
I
I
was
still
flying over
here?
here. I couldn't see you.
Oh, okay, so the Windy City. Okay, so what I was saying was I had wanted to know how do you actually have a conversation with someone after you have fell out with them, and then so basically I was saying that okay, we have mutual friends, we go out to we get into it, we cut each other off, and then we go to a party of a mutual friend, and then we laugh and joking and stuff, and then the chemistry comes back that we cool, but yet tomorrow you call me, but yet it's still flaming because we never addressed it what we had a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
How do I address that?
Simple. You need to call up the person, go see the person. Y'all need to still get together and address it. It still has to be addressed. And I'm not saying go and have another match and go back over it, rehash the issue, but y'all need to address moving forward. And it's okay to sometimes agree to disagree. Y'all both have cooled off. Y'all taken time away from it. Hopefully there were nothing going on both ends from you in the middle while y'all wasn't talking that kept the fire going. And I'm gonna say not because y'all were able to still get together and talk.
Right.
And be cordial when y'all seen each other out in public. So y'all still need to get together and go back over and just simply just say, okay, we had our thing, we went over it, we went back and forth. I don't want to go back into another match. I just want to make sure we know how to move forward.
Okay, so with moving forward, it doesn't have to mean that somebody has to take fault. We could just say we agree to disagree, correct?
Yes. Nobody has to take fault because y'all both stated how y'all felt. Now you know how that person know how you feels regarding it. So that is an area y'all know that y'all cannot really dive back into,
right? Exactly.
And try to discuss because it did not work out quite the first time.
Okay, so basically, if I'm talking, so basically, I go outside and I see this person, and we cool because we have to be cordial around at a special event or whatever.
Right.
Then the next day, you give me a call. And you start talking. I'm supposed to say, okay, so back up one moment. Can we please discuss what happened before?
The last time we spoke.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So both of us have cooled off, and I feel that we should. Okay, so and that's mature as hell. Sorry, that's mature to do. Okay, very mature to do. And a lot of people feel. Some people feel like they're not with that, and we had that good time last night, and we just gonna leave that in the past. However, even if you decide to leave that person in your past, I still feel like that will be trauma brought up later on if you do not discuss it still.
Yes, and that's true. You can still say, we had a good time while we were together, no hard feelings. I'm just gonna let it be. However, when presented with the situation that y'all have swept under the rug, y'all both should still be able to say, okay, we just decided that we ain't gonna go there anymore. We went there, it didn't work out. We moving forward. And I would make that if the one coming up, I would never even been able to come and actually speak to you in public. I would have flat out came to you and was like, hey, would have been a hey, and not tonight, not tonight. If I still resolve about it, then I would tell you tonight, not tonight. Can we talk so that we can rehash this out? But if I don't want to talk about it anymore, I'll flat out tell you like, oh, hey, what I'm saying? What's going on? I don't want to go into that. We went there. I just want to move on. And that would be my icebreaker pretty much to you.
See, mine is not that simple. Like, I'll be cool with you in a setting because I don't want to, make a scene. However, but if you call me the next day and you want to talk, that I needed that to say that I okay.
It needs to be said. It has to be said at some point.
And only because it's like, are we really cool? Because like at the end of the day, are you still gonna be holding on to what happened before? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
now I will say, okay, so what I will say is sometimes it is hard to address what the deeper issue may have been.
Right.
And I'll say that because I have not talked to people I'm not even gonna say it was an argument. I just have not talked to people. However, when we first came back into contact, it was light talk, talk, little slice of, and then as we build that rapport again, I guess I could say, we dove into what our main issues were.
See, that's adulthood. That's adulthood.
Yes, we dove into it. We didn't actually carve out time. I'm not going to say I have done this more than once. We did not carve out dedicated moments to discuss what we were tit for tat about before. Right. But it did come up in a couple conversations, and we made sure to speak our stance on it.
I like that.
But so I guess that is another way it can be done.
Right. And then I think that it takes other friends that are in the circle to be mature about it as well. A lot of times it be the friends that be.
And that's why I said hopefully nothing was festering in the process.
Right. That's why, yeah, exactly.
That
exactly.
kept the ignite going and the flame, of this 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 disruption that y'all had. Hopefully that's what happened.
Yeah.
But if that did, if that did not happen, then y'all able to move forward. However, that brings up a whole new
most definitely
issues.
Okay.
I've used the word issues, but
yes, situation. All right, number 5. How do faking it till you make it help self-love?
I am a firm believer of fake it till you make it. The neurons in our brain sometimes needs to be tricked. We need to release that feel good, that dopamine, all of that good stuff on our own. It's weird. Like when people get upset and they start laughing, they're still releasing those chemicals. It does prevent them from going all the way overboard. Because it does releases them. So faking it till you make it does work. That's how a lot of times, even with depression, when you are just not feeling up to par, they literally tell you to do what you do when you feel happy.
That's why the songs come in the morning.
Yes, because it releases those things in you that make you feel okay again, make you feel happy. So faking it till you make it does work. It does work in terms of yourself. You're not always, everybody's not always happy. However, even just getting yourself to sometimes that's all you need. You just need to just drop your shoulders and be okay. You have to sometimes fake it. It's so crazy. It is weird, but so that's what faking it does. It tells your brain, I'm okay. And then it lets your brain be their self.
Okay, so what do you do to fake it to improve self-love? And when I say that, I mean to say like, okay, some people that have confident problems, they're really not confident about themselves. They literally will say everyone that has told them they're cute or what cute character traits they have, they'll use that and say that they're cute. However, they still feel that they're not cute themselves. Or someone could say, oh, you do a great job with that, but they don't feel that they're really that good. So when it comes to faking it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm good at this. I can do this, this, and this, but you don't really feel like you're good. You're only saying that because someone else said it to you. So when someone say fake it till you make it, they're faking it, but they're only faking it because of what someone else said. How do you get someone to actually fake looking in the mirror? Like you looking in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
First off, you need to find out why they don't see what someone else sees.
Okay.
Or why they don't see that in themselves. Because a lot of the times that is a whole issue. Of course, I don't see I'm beautiful if I've been told I'm ugly from 3 years old to 10 years old.
Ooh.
Of course I don't feel I'm okay is because this is what I've been told. And now here come one person or the right people haven't told me. Like with kids, especially like little teenagers, and they get the feeling they're ugly, and you got mom and dad like, girl, you're fine, you're beautiful, you're cute. It honestly means nothing coming from my parents. My peers are not telling me this. The people around me don't see me. Of course, that's what you have to say. You're my mom, and that's how they taking it. That is where that part comes in. So you have to first dive into that and then heal that. Heal that. And one of the ways you can heal that is, like I said before, letting your brain know this is a safe space first to release myself and to be who I am and to, you know what I'm saying, allow my body to take control. This is a safe space. I got to break down that barrier that I've built to protect me from it. And then once you let your brain know that this is a safe space, then you start to dive into that inkling that's festering within them, and you start to break that down. And it literally comes from getting to know what actually is that's bothering them, and it got to be a consistent basis of helping them improve it, not just one. You know what I'm saying? Today I tell you you're beautiful, or today I tell you you're this. You have to. Something has to be developed on a daily basis to tell them that for them to start to believe it. Eventually, it will sink in, but it's gonna take a lot of work. You need to figure out where it came from first, because right now you're just laying a band-aid on top of an old wound. It does nothing.
See, and that's the thing. Everybody always say that stuff come from home. Like it starts at home. It starts at home. If it starts at home, and my parents had told me all of this, that, and the third, but yet I'm looking for somebody else to tell me that don't start at home.
No, you got your parents telling you that. At the end of the day, your child is gonna do, or anybody, they're gonna do what they want to do, regardless of what they're being taught, regardless of what they're being shown. Eventually, they're gonna make their own path. I cannot always say yes. The starting from home analogy comes from the development, but you can do that part. And then as they get older, it shifts. They eventually begin to look into themselves for their own answers. If they are not getting them, or they don't feel like they've gotten them how they want them, it matters nothing. Yes, it's good to say that mom is at home doing this, dad is at home. You know, I know that they love me, but it means nothing. We look for acceptance from everyone, from our family, from our friends, from our peers, and from, sad to say, society around us, the people through us, through Facebook, through social media. We look through acceptance from that. And a lot of the times they'll tell you, like, you are looking for some type of approval that is not always going to be stamped. What you going to do when it's not stamped for you? What are you going to do?
Wow, that's deep. Maybe that's the reason why I only ask my sisters for their opinion.
Because you know it's going to be rooted in love. You know it's going to, it's
right.
It may be, you know, they may give you a hard opinion, but it's not going to be a harsh opinion.
Right.
Sometimes hearing a harsh opinion is necessary.
Right. See, and that's the thing. I don't have, see, my sisters gassed me, but like literally, but when I cannot get a hold of them, I sit and I ask myself, well, is this good for you? Like, did you do okay to yourself? You know, like I tap into how my cousin or my sister will look at it and say, because some of my cousins are really, really like, they critique every little thing. So I'll be like, okay, well, if this was Shanice, she'll be like, ooh, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to change this, and this. You know what I'm saying? And that's because I can't get nobody on the phone. But
that's what I said earlier. When you can't call, it makes you have to figure out who you are.
Girl,
you have to look into you and tap
that's why when you said that, I was
brain.
Like, ooh, okay. Maybe I do, because I will call you and be like, okay, I know you're tired of me, but honey, look, let me tell you. I'm like, okay, so I'm calling you because what nobody answered the phone for me. Yes, okay, so hey, real life, for real.
Yes, it is a lot of people. That's why they're pushing therapy so much now, because even just growing up, a lot of the things that we experience are not normal. A lot of the things that we were being taught and told is normal is not normal. It's not what someone of our age or our caliber should have been experiencing at that time. However, we were raised to think that it was normal. We were raised, violence is one of, we were raised to think that violence is normal. We were raised to think, even with myself now, I'm 29 and everybody knows that. However,
I'm 25.
I went through a period where I thought a lot of things were normal because it's what I seen. I used to get into arguments, get into fights with one of my kids' dad, and I in my head, like, I knew deep down it was not something else, because you see TV, what, this is not what should be happening. However, in my head, I rationalized it, which is what we do a lot, and it's a word that I use a lot. We, especially women, rationalize the things that go on around us so much that we demean it.
Wow.
And it becomes a part of our life, and it was not technically supposed to. And one of the things, I would rationalize it. I would look at the people who I thought were strong, who I thought were good parents or good moms or did this. And I was like, well, I saw them do that, so it can't be that bad. And look at me. I turned out good the whole time. I turned out kind of crazy. Like, I'm trying to unravel half the stuff that went on. But to the naked eye, I turned out pretty good. Like I said to myself, I was like, well, I ain't had that much. I ain't go through that type of stuff. Right? So in my head, I was
other people that's worse and be like, okay, well,
I wasn't that bad. So I was pretty good. However, I went through a lot of mental stuff that people did not know. And that's why I tell people now, I have done the work on myself. That's why a lot of people think I'm beyond my ears, is because I've, at a young age, was forced to do the work on myself.
Right. Well, yeah.
I was forced to do the work on myself. And that's why I'm able to do what I do today, because I did it. I went through it.
The experience.
And, I battled a lot on my own. So I rationalized so much stuff. And then now I get older, and now I see it now, and I'm just like, and my face kind of turned up, because it's like, that ain't right.
That ain't right. See, now that's good. You can actually say that, though, because a lot of people don't actually a lot of people are not able to actually see the fault. They continue to put emphasis on what they did and try to, like you said, rationalize and say, but it's not like that. So I completely understand. Yes,
it is, because I hate that term. Well, my mama did it to me, so
yeah, I don't like
I hate that.
Now, if it was for the better, then of course that's how you go. But you can act as an adult. You can go back and look and see what was great, what wasn't so great, what to continue, what not to continue.
My mama whooped me as a kid. Okay, and I'm not against whoopings. I'm firmly for
no, we completely.
But my mama beat me as a kid. Okay, how did it make you feel as a kid?
How much did she beat you though, sir?
Okay, my mama cursed me out. And how did it make you feel then? Yes, you turned out technically okay, but how did it make you feel then? That's how you're making your child feel now.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do understand that. However, you can alter some of the things that was said. Like if your mother cursed you out while she was beating on you or whatever the case may be, I wouldn't say don't, whoop your child. However, you can actually sit down and tell your child what's going on, why this is this and why this is that, and then you have steps to it. You just don't keep on beating on them because your mama beat on you.
Exactly. People on kids they have their own brain. Like, they have their feelings, their emotions. They are just as we are. The only problem is they are more confused.
Yes, exactly.
Why mama got to do it this way, daddy doing it that way. All they know is what we show, and we try so hard not to show them the bad stuff, that we don't show them how to recoup from it when it does happen.
And not only that, there's no rule book to being a parent nor a child.
I tell you all the time, when we argue or when your parents argue, the reason why we so easy to walk away is because we didn't see how they repaired their relationship.
Ooh, come on now.
We didn't
see your relationship in front of your child,
so that they can learn how to repair it. And that's why I literally had this conversation. I'm gonna let it go because I'm rattling. But I literally had this conversation where they was like, how the difference with people who are raised off of survival and people who is raised off of love out of a 2-parent household.
You can definitely tell the difference.
You can tell the difference.
You can definitely
because when you're raised off of survival or a single parent household, you are easy to let go and walk away. You may come back.
Yeah.
But you'll walk away in a heartbeat. You're not going to tolerate it.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that you can just tell about.
You can tell the difference. You can really tell the difference.
Most definitely.
They are completely different. They love different. They show love different. They take things in different. two-parent households feel like they supposed to stick together, whatever, no matter what you done did, how you done did it. You done even did this and that. Ain't nobody leaving. And they be like, hold on. My mom would have left by then.
So with that being said, of course, today's episode is about the 5 C's. And these 5 C's can be implemented in any type of relationship there is. And today we're talking about self-love with Miss Kwanda. If you just tuned in, she is an actual certified relationship coach. She did not just put a handle on her name. That's why I call her my business partner, because we do business together, because she's a business woman. With that being said, Miss Kwanda, could you please tell us the definition or how we could implement the 5 C's real quick in self-love?
Okay, so my 5 C's is something I came up with. At first, I was looking for something that would help like couples. And then I realized all relationships need this. All relationships need these 5 C's. And I made sure that each and every one connected. So the first one is confidence. You cannot do anything in any relationship, whether it's a relationship with a partner, it's a friendship, it's a work relationship, without having the confidence in yourself that you can get it done. You need to be confident that this can happen. You need to be confident to say whatever you feel. Must know what you feel. And that's what I mean when I say confident. Know what you feel, know how it made you feel, and know what it did to you. Because there's no way I can articulate what it is if I cannot, I'm not able to say it to you.
Okay, come on.
That's what I mean when I say be confident. Stand up there 10 toes and let them know this is how you made me feel. This is what it did to me. And this is how, you know what I'm saying? This is what I want to do.
Okay.
And with that, you must have cooperation. And I know sometimes it's hard to get cooperation. However, you cannot have a successful relationship with anyone without their cooperation. You both must be on the same page and willing to say, I want to work towards something. I want to grow something. I want this to happen. I don't care what kind of relationship it is. It could be a simple relationship with your sister or your brother or your mom. Both of you must want it. Y'all got to cooperate and do the work on both ends. It's not one-sided. We can't do nothing one-sided. It's damn near impossible. You can start off one-sided. However, even if you go to marriage counseling, you can start going by yourself, but eventually they're going to tell you, I need your partner. It won't work without your partner. The other person who you are building a relationship with must cooperate. Comprehension. Simple. I can't tell you how I'm feeling and they don't comprehend it. Both of y'all gotta know what they saying, and they need to be able to actually know your viewpoint. They can comprehend it on their end and say, oh, you say, well, I feel like you ain't love me. And they say, well, oh, I was showing you love. I gave you flowers. And you'd be like, well, flowers don't show me love. They didn't comprehend what you said then. They comprehended it for themselves and not for you both. And that sometimes, that's why I say comprehension is important. And there are tools and steps to ensure that they are comprehending what you are saying and understanding you clearly. First step always is when you say something to them, make them repeat it back to you. Not in their own words, verbatim. Because if they repeat it in their own words, they locked it into their brain in their own words. They have their own meaning behind it. They did not hear exactly what you said. They heard probably every other fucking word. I didn't mean to curse, but every other word. Repeat it verbatim. Make them say it back to you verbatim so that it can come out of their mouth and they can see it in your words.
Because you can say one little word that's off and it changed the whole meaning.
And it changed the whole context of what you said. Exactly.
Okay.
Verbatim.
Yes.
Verbatim. My fourth one is communication. Of course, we sitting here doing all of this. You got to be able to communicate. And what do they tell you in school when you communicate? You must be able to listen. You got to be able to hear what they're saying as well. You cannot make them only hear your side and you're not hearing their side. It is an exchange. Both of y'all must give in this conversation. In this communication, both of y'all must give. So you got to get what they're saying and communicate clearly and concisely on what you want, and they have to communicate. Both of you have to do the work. Comfortability. And I added this on last minute. At first, I used to say 4. However, one of the things I began to realize is a lot of people will have all of that, and then when it comes to addressing whoever they need to address, they're not comfortable enough to say how they really feel. You must be comfortable with yourself and with that person. Like I just said before, we got to break down that barrier. So you need to allow your brain to say that you're safe. If you don't feel safe, you're not comfortable. So what do you have? This barrier. So now whatever you say out your mouth is going to come off as a little angry and upset, rude. And then whatever they say back, you're automatically defensive.
Yes.
You're only going to respond out of defense because that barrier is already there. You're already on guard. So you need to break that and be comfortable with the person you are trying to have a communication with.
Love it.
And that's my 5 C's.
And those are the 5 C's. Okay, so we have Miss Kwanda here. If you guys have any questions for her, you're more than happy to inbox her. Kwanda, tell them where they can reach you.
So you can reach me through my Facebook page, Pleasures Encouraged. That's my business page, so you can see the one-stop shop that I have I'm starting to create. And you can also go to my website, www.pleasuresencouraged.com, book a consult, and we can see what I can come in and I can help you with. That's what we do in the consult. Or you come to my Facebook page, my personal page, Pleasure Goddess Indulged.
Yes.
I'll type them in the comments so that you guys can see me, follow me in 30 different ways. I am pretty much everywhere.
Yes, she is. Well, with that being said, I would like to thank Kwanda for giving me the opportunity to interview her today, because her gems that she drops are very well needed in our world today. Please, if you are watching via YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment below so that we can stay in contact. When I go live, you'll get a notification. I really, really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Everyone can give you the tea, but not everyone has the biscuit with it. Please, with that being said, make sure you tune in next Sunday. It is Biscuit Sunday. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, I will see you guys later.